Hey guys, I am Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I usually do a lot of thrift store hauls for my channel, but I've been getting into a lot of topic videos. So if you like to just hear random people's opinions about different things, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, you know what I'm saying? So today I want to talk about the whole Chris Brown debacle, what's going on with him. And I also want to do like a little story time about a time that I met a young man who was a colorist. Yes, so I have my glass of wine here and I just, threw in my little BFF 3 lip liner by ColourPop with some MAC gloss on top. I think it was from the Patrick Star collection, and I don't want to ruin it. So y'all gonna see me drinking my Chardonnay like this, okay? And then I got some cheesecake over here. So if you see me getting down, I'm eating some cheesecake, okay? So the whole Chris Brown debacle, there is a song that has come out recently where Chris Brown has a song on it called A Stack, and in the song he says he only liked the black girls with the good hair. And when I tell you that set the internet on fire, it set the internet on fire. Now I don't understand, like, Chris Brown is a seasoned artist. Like, he should know better than to say something like that. And the fact that he said it means, I'm sure he knew that by saying that, that was going to be some, that was just not the, that line wasn't the business. But he said it anyway, period. And women are mad. They're like, oh, we're canceling you, Chris Brown. Like, we're not, like, people are just outraged on the internet. I mean, I'm over here like, you know what? Like, I don't even, like, it don't even bother me at this point. And I remember when Remy Ma had the song Melanin Magic with Chris Brown and he sang the hook. I love Remy Ma, so when she puts out something, I always go to YouTube, to support her. By clicking on play, giving her a view, you know what I'm saying? The more views that she gets, the better for her. But I don't buy Chris Brown music. I have not purchased any of his music since he beat Rihanna. I don't go to any of his concerts. I don't stream any of his music on any of the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, any of that. I would watch his videos on YouTube, I'm not gonna lie. Because I really love Chris Brown. I think he's very talented. I love, like, his creativity, his videos, how he dances. But I just can't get with his attitude. And when people called him out about his line, he starts talking about only uglies are mad or chicks with skid row edges. So instead of being like, my bad y'all, I didn't mean for that line to come off like that. I was trying to rhyme. Black girls with the good hair with the next line, just something he took to the internet to be disrespectful. If I find his Instagram, his response, I'm gonna put it somewhere in this video so you guys can see. And then Tokyo Vanity called him out, and then he proceeded to go in on Tokyo Vanity. Like, what? Like, I just don't understand. You're a grown man. You are a grown man. You are almost 30 years old. I have no respect for grown men who think it's cool to go back and forth with women, period. Like, you are a grown man, my dude. You let women talk they ish and you just keep it moving. Like, as a grown man, like, one way for me to think that you are straight up pussy, let's keep it real, is if you put hands on a woman and if you sit up there arguing back and forth with a woman. Like, bro, you a grown man. And then I hear his mother hopped on the internet defending it. Like, the whole family is just trash. Just throw the whole family away. Throw the whole family away. And I know when my son was born, my son, let me tell you how genetics work. This boy was white, light skin. He had like a full hair, like straight hair. People kept saying, is he mixed? Is he mixed? I'm like, no. And look at me. Dark. His dad is like brown. And he was like so light. He just started getting a little darker now. He's 16 years old. And I remember I would take him around to family members' houses. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, he's so cute with his light skin self. You want to have all the girls with your light skin self. And I'll be like, hold up. tell him he cute, but we're not about to start this light skin stuff. Like, we're not about to do this. So I nipped that in the bud early, where people are referring to his cuteness as him, you know, saying, you know, referring to him as, oh, you're so light skinned, look at your light skinned self. Like, I nipped that in the bud early, so I was not about to have that. But I think that a lot of kids they learn this stuff in school, but I always made it a point to not harp on this light skin stuff with my son. So I feel like in school, like, kids talk about light skin, dark skin, and he came home one day and he was like, oh mom, what you like, light skins or dark skins? I said, don't start that shit, don't start it, don't start it. And he like starts laughing. I said, I don't know why you came in my room with the bull crap. You know I'm not about to feed into it, you know I'm not here for it, so cut it out. And he was like, okay ma, and he like went back into his room, because obviously kids at school talk about stuff like that. It's obvious. So I'm about to bring y'all back to this is gonna be a little quick story time. In my early 20s, I experienced colorism, and I didn't even know or realize that it was colorism because it was my first time experiencing it. But now that I'm looking back on it, thinking about this whole Chris Brown situation, that was still short of colorism. So back in the day, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on my channel, I used to do a lot of promotional modeling with my girlfriend. And we would host parties in, you know, clubs in Manhattan. Like, I was on the scene. Like, I was always out and about in New York City 2 to 3 times, 4 times a week sometimes. Me and my girlfriend was hosting this club. I think it was called Amnesia. I'm not even sure if it's still in Manhattan or whatever. So it would be me and her, and so we get to the club. They give us our section in the VIP area. They give us like a bottle of like champagne, or Ace of Spades or something like that. And so it was 2 guys also in VIP. It was kind of early. People hadn't really trickled in just yet. So it was just me and my girlfriend. We just sitting around, just looking bored, sipping our drink, like talking or whatever. So these 2 young men were to the left of us. So one of the guys, I remember he was wearing like a red hat, a red top or something. He kept trying to get our attention. So my girlfriend was like, because it was like a thing, like every time we go out, be some random dudes trying to get our attention, or random dudes like, are you girls working? That was another thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was to get so mad. So yeah, so she was like being really rude or whatever at the time. And so me, I'm a Pisces. The Pisces in me has to just talk to everybody. Now I'm an introvert. I'm like more so stay to myself, but I'm an outgoing introvert. So if I'm out and about in public, I know how to socialize. I'm not gonna be awkwardly, you know, socially awkward, like just awkward. So I could tell by the way that one of the young men was dressed that he was not from New York City. Like, I could just tell. So I go over, he's like dark skinned with locks in his hair, and I'm like, hey, what's up, how are you doing? He was like, nothing, me and my friend, we just came out tonight, we just trying to see what's going on. I'm like, oh hey, like, you know, New York City is great. And then I noticed he had an accent, so I'm like, hey, where are you from? He was like, oh, I'm from New Orleans. I believe he said New Orleans. And I'm like, oh wow. I was like, well, what brings you to New York City? And he was like, oh, I just got drafted to the NFL. Got drafted to the Giants. I'm not gonna say these young men's names. So it was like his first year, he was a rookie. And I went to school with a young man who also got drafted to the Giants as well. So I know my homeboy from high school used to always go to this club. It's like some NFL players will go to this club like every Saturday and just like chill, shoot the shit, to hang out. So he was like, how y'all ladies doing? We talking or whatever. He like, what y'all ladies want to drink? So I'm like, a cranberry and vodka. So I go over to my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I'm like, yo, these gentlemen are from the South, New Orleans. They just got drafted to the NFL or whatever. And she's like, oh, so he just told you that? You know how girls are. I'm like, no, I just noticed he had an accent. So I asked him, why was he in New York City? And he said that he got drafted. So he was interested in my friend or whatever. So I was trying to get him to get my friend to talk to him, because she was just not here for him. And like I said, he was like a dark-skinned young man with like locks in his hair. His locks was probably like shoulder length. And then he was with his other friend who was also on the team. So it was just the 2 of us, me and my friend, and him and his friend. And so while his friend was talking to my friend, you know, me and his friend started shooting the shits or whatever. And so like when I tell you we shot the shits like the whole night, we were freaking laughing, talking, about just everything. And I lie to you not, like every girl who walked up in the club that night was busted. So me and his homeboy is talking about, I'm like, yo, why the fuck is all the chicks up in here busted? He was like, I know. So we are just laughing and cackling and dying. And then like once the club was like closing out, I think I pointed to one girl and I'm like, damn, she like one of the best looking girls in here, like that wasn't in VIP, of course. And he was like, I know. I'm like, you should get her number or whatever. He was like, all right. So I'm not even sure if he got her number or not. But all I know is that we were just like having like a real fun time. So I'm like, all right, so we exchanged phone numbers. And I'm like, hey, next time you're in the city or if you just want to hang out or whatever, like it's whatever, like just hit me up or whatever because I'm in the area. He was like, oh, no problem. You and your homegirl, y'all cool or whatever. We got your numbers. So if we want to hang out again, we can. So like the next day or whatever, homeboy hits me up and he's like texting me all of this stuff like what you wearing and stuff. Meanwhile, at the club, we were just like having a good old time, like homeboys, homegirls, and I was kind of confused, like And so then we meet up at the club the next week. We see him again and I'm like, hey, or whatever, like what's going on or whatever. And then he just busts out like he starts like he was like being kind of like rude or whatever. So I'm like, I'm pretty like jovial and upbeat, so I didn't really care. It didn't really bother me. And so he just busted out. I was like, I don't like black girls that look like you. I don't want a black girl like you. And so my friend looked like a black girl, like what? Mind you, my girlfriend, she's light skinned, I'm dark, and he just, so my friend was like, and then his homeboy was like, he looked like what? Like, and you already said you don't want a black girl like this, pointing to me. And my thing is, I'm not offended because you don't gotta like me. I'm not for everybody. Every man that comes my way, I'm not attracted to. It's cool. So it wasn't like a big deal to me, like, oh my gosh, I was sitting around crying and I was like, my night was ruined. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't give a damn. And so then her cousin came in, a freaking Douglas, Indian and black. He was like, I like black girls like this. And so then I knew exactly what he was talking about. He didn't want a fully black girl. And I mean, you already said you don't want a black girl like that, like me. Like, so go ahead and say it. You think I'm ugly? You think I'm loud and ghetto? Like, he had nothing to say when it was like, what do you mean a black girl like that? Like, he couldn't even say like what he meant, because what he really meant was he just doesn't want to date a fully black girl. But the black girl with the good hair, well, you know, that's what he wanted. Like, the girl was basically my color. She just had very like straight hair, like an Indian. And I used to hang out with a lot of like Trinis and things like that. People always thought I was like from Trinidad or the Dominican Republic. Don't ask me why. Don't start leaving comments like, you don't even look like it. Listen, I don't know how I translate on camera to you guys. Yeah, so that was like my first taste of colorism. And this man was probably like my same color. Some people, it just depends on who I'm talking to. Some people consider me brown skin. Some people say I'm dark skin. Like, most of the time when I'm trying to insert myself in a light skin, dark skin debate, I'm told, girl, you brown skin, you don't have an opinion. So, like I said, I don't know how I translate on camera, but that's that. So, and it was weird because after he did this whole, I don't like black girls like you, and I'm just like, okay, fuck you too. And it was weird because the next day, or maybe a couple of days later, I'm sitting there with my girlfriend, the same girlfriend who was with me at the club, and this cat texts me a picture of him laying in bed. So I didn't respond. I literally just turned my phone and I showed my girlfriend, like, this dude was popping mad shit at the club and he's sending me himself, but it's disrobed or whatever. So she texts her boy, texts his friend that was with him at the club. Like, he claimed he don't like my friend, but he's sending her pictures. So his friend must have texted him like, yo, dude, like, why you friend? And he texted me back like, oh my bad, I sent you that picture by accident. And so I think I ended up blocking him or something like that. But my thing is, you like me, but I don't know if it's like peer pressure, where you feel like you're at a point in your life where you don't have to date regular black girls like me. You want to talk to me, but on a sneak tip, but you don't want other people to know about it type of stuff. So he never really came out of it was like, oh, I don't like you because you whack or you ugly or you this and that. Like, he's just like, I don't want black girls like that. And I was talking to my homeboy like a month ago, and I was telling him like, yo, come to think of it, like, as a black American, I could probably count on his hand how many black men, fully black men who are like my color or darker that I've ever dated. Black men do not like me. And I was telling him like, yo, black men do not like me. Like, if I do date a black man, he's usually biracial, sort of light brights all gravitate toward me. Or black men who are like from like Europe or Jamaican, like any Caribbean place, even African. Well, mostly I get like Middle Eastern, like Northern Africans, like Moroccans. So I don't even know if you want to consider those African. Like the Sub-Saharan Africans, no. East Africans, like Sub-Saharan East Africans like me. But the West Africans, they don't like me. And so I'm sitting there thinking, like, as far as colorism, like talking to my homeboy, like, when it comes to me dating like black men, I grew up in a very pro-black household, you know. Black is like power, but I rarely date like full black American men. Like, they don't like me. And I could literally be going on a train to go into Manhattan, and literally a white men love to stop me to compliment me. I was wearing like the crochet braids, the deep twist, the free trust ones that I love. And this man was like, I love your hair. It's gorgeous, white man. Like, when I tell you, I am a white man magnet. If only I was attracted to like half of the ones that approach me. But like I said, I attract like every black person from every part of the continent except for like darker black American men. And the black men that I do date are like lighter than me, or they're like black biracial. And I didn't really notice this until I sat down and I was like talking to my boy, like, black men don't like me. So this whole colorism thing that we always discussing, how black men don't like black women and they prefer the exotical, like, I feel like this is something that's been going on for so long, maybe that a lot of black women haven't noticed it, hadn't caught on to it. Because I'm literally just thinking back to like all the people I dated and just thinking like most of the black men were like from different countries. Like, but yeah, as far as Chris Brown, it's not even surprising to me. And I said in a previous video that I recorded on this channel that when black men get into a certain status, they feel like they're too good for the average black woman. Even you could be successful, you could be a freaking businesswoman, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, and they feel like, oh, we're above you. And it's like, I'm not Team Swirl, but if you are Team Swirl, I'm not mad at you as a black woman, because the pickings are slim. And I find myself literally checking out other ethnicities, and it's just like, if you are a woman, a black woman, and you are about your business and you want to date, it's like, what do? Do you date Tyrone down the street that got 6 baby mamas who's a fry cook at McDonald's? Or do you try to date a black man on your level? Or I swear, the best way, if you're a black woman and you want to date a successful black man, meet somebody in college. Meet your soulmate in college. You guys can grow together, you can build together. But as a full-fledged adult at my age, trying to find someone on my level who I can have conversations with, it's like this big. And I remember dating this man, and all he wanted to talk about was, girl, did you watch Love and Hip Hop? Did you see Masika? That bitch bad as fuck. And I'm sitting there on the phone like, really, dog? Like, and I'm like, yo, and I'm trying to talk about other deeper things, maybe politics or just fucking metaphysics. And it's like, he doesn't have the mental capacity to even talk about anything deeper than some shit like Love and Hip Hop. Do I date this cat, or do I just stay single for life? Do I just meet someone that may be white or a different race and be with him and be called a sellout. Like, what do I do as a black woman? Like, what do? I don't understand. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm gonna do what's best for me, just put it like that. So another thing I want to talk about is Paris Milan, right? She makes some really informative and great videos, very thought-provoking videos. I love her. I like the way that she thinks. I could sit down and listen to her talk about things all day. I really enjoy her videos. And she had this video where she was talking about Kevin McCall. It was Kevin McCall and another subject, but with the whole Kevin McCall situation, he was saying how he don't appreciate how a lot of Africans from the continent of Africa get up in his Instagram comments and go in on him and how they are so tough on him. Now, Kevin McCall is pure trash. He deserves all the hate and all the negativity that comes his way because he is a woman beater. He beats women. He's a womanizer. He is a narcissist. He deserves all the hate that he gets. And so in the video, I made a comment under Paris Milan's video, and I go, well, I agree, because she was saying, you know, Africans from the continent, they be talking hella shit about black Americans, you know, black people in America. And I go, I agree what you said about Africans on a continent. And they always saying that we are lazy, but did they forget that our ancestors worked for free for about 400 years? And when I tell you, I put that comment, I literally went to sleep, woke up, 50 comments under my comment. People arguing, people were talking shit to me about my comment. Y'all are lazy. Literally, it's probably up to about 200 comments right now. Probably a little over 200 comments. People still comment on it, but I just don't have the energy to go back and forth. But I feel like, I don't know what the hate is with Africans from the continent, with black Americans. Like, I'm gonna speak for myself. Now, online, Africans from the continent pop hella shit, y'all. Hella shit. I'm yet to run into an African from the continent who pops shit like that to my face. I've yet to run into one. And it's crazy because they always say, as an African, as a Nigerian. It's always Nigerians, y'all. It's always Nigerians, because they love to say, as in Nigeria. Nigerians are so proud and they're so bold online. And this is just me speaking for myself as an individual. I'm not speaking on behalf of any other black American that lives in the United States of America, because they might not feel the way that I feel. But they always say, well, in elementary school, y'all teased us, y'all called us African booty scratchers, y'all asked us if we lived in huts, y'all told us about feed the children commercials. People my age group who are millennials are still mad about that. Let me tell you something. When you go to public school in the United States of America, public school is brutal. Kids are teased every single day. I was like this big growing up in school. I got called anorexic, even though I wasn't anorexic. Olive oil. I would like a feed the children, one of those feed the children commercials, and I was so skinny that my shoes would look so long, like people would start teasing me about my shoes. When I tell you, I was teased brutally every single day. Now, if your mother was a crackhead, you got teased because your mother was a crackhead. Kids kids would start to sing, yo mama's on crack rock, yo mama's on crack rock. What is that? A song from like the movie Crooklyn? Yo mama's on crack rock, yo mama's on crack rock. Yo, if you came to school and your clothes wasn't clean because your mother didn't have money to go to the laundry, you didn't come to school with that new, your hair wasn't done, you was considered dirty. Kids was teasing you because you was dirty. Now, if you was fat, you got teased because you was fat. You notice a lot of comedians that are fat because you had to be funny if you was fat, because you had to come back with the jokes if you was fat in school. Like, nobody was off limits in school. Like, nobody was off limits. Like, if your hair was short, you was bald-headed. Like, everybody got teased in school. So if you're my age telling me, well, when we were in school, y'all used to call us African booty scratchers, do you know everybody was getting teased in school? Everybody, not just you. And I used to call some of my cousins African booty scratchers. I never really called, I don't think, like an African person an African booty scratcher. So I didn't run into many Africans in my elementary school. But if you was Haitian, they would say you had HBO, Haitian body odor. Even if you didn't, they would just tease you just because. Like, everybody in school everybody was getting teased about something. Your teeth was messed up, you was getting teased. Like, you were stuttering when it was time to do reading in school, you got teased. Like, no, going to school in the USA, especially public school, anybody could get it. Anybody could get it in school. Like, everybody was teased about something. Your head big as hell. Damn, your head big as hell. You got a big ass head. So for me to be a millennial and over 30 and to still hear people in my age group talking about when they went to school, how they was teased, and so now they want to go in on Black Americans because of their going to school in the USA where everybody was teased. Like, you live in the project, that's why you live in the project, that's why your mother owned food stamps, like, that's why you got Section 8. Like, this is for my Nigerians, because y'all are the worst offenders. Y'all are the worst offenders. Stop coming with the, oh, when we went to school, y'all teased us, because African, Black American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, it didn't matter what you was, everybody got teased about something. Everybody was getting bullied about something. Like, you saw the movie Mean Girls. Even in white schools, suburban schools, all white schools, you had Mean Girls. You can't sit with us. Like, cut it out with that. And then it's like people commenting under my comment, y'all mad because we doing way better than y'all. Like, so you mean to tell me that there's no Black Americans that are doing well for themselves? You can literally go on your Instagram and scroll down and see so many successful Black people on Instagram that's doing the damn thing. Oh yeah, their arguments, we're doing so much better than you guys. You guys are ghetto, you don't have any culture. Like, let me tell you, I was on Instagram one day and I forget what post this was, but anytime a Black person commits a nefarious act, something that is just like, oh, like crazy, this African man commented, as an African, this is why I don't deal with African American men, because you guys have no culture. We got hella culture. Black Americans have hella culture. We got the most swag, we start the most trends, and we the first ones who came out with the crazy nail colors. I've never really been a person, that's just not my personality, wear crazy nail colors, but the colorful hair. But when white people do it, it's trendy. When Black Americans do it, it's ghetto. And the funny thing about it is, there's a lot of artists in Europe, Black artists in Europe, who are African born. They don't feel like they're successful until their music hits the US market and starts trending. So once Black Americans start, once Black Americans start fucking with your music, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying, it's a hit, like, we've made it. It's like you wait for Black Americans' approval on your music, on your art, or whatever you're doing, for it to be valid, you know what I'm saying, for you to feel like you made it. But you'll sit behind your computer and talk major shit about Black Americans, period. And it's like, well, y'all ask us if we live in huts, and let's keep it real. There are still hunter and gathering societies in Africa. There are still, to this day, hunter and gathering societies in Africa. Don't tell me that they aren't, because they are. And there are societies where people don't basically live in the city. They still have this whole, let's go catch a goat and kill it, and make our food that way. And as far as the feed the children commercials, there is famine in Africa. there is real life famine in Africa. I used to sponsor a girl in Kenya. I would send like $35 or $38 a month to like an organization for her. And I just don't understand like why. This is to my Nigerians mostly, because I don't really feel like I get that much flack from other African countries on the continent. Just from my Nigerians, for some reason they feel like they are here and like Black Americans are like here. I don't really feel like that from other Africans on the continent. Now, growing up, I was very fortunate. My uncle married a woman who was fluent in 5 languages. She would travel all the time. I remember she traveled to Nairobi, Kenya. She came back home and she said, Kenya is beautiful. She gave me like this picture book called Jambo Means Hello. That's only Swahili word I know is Jambo Means Hello. She bought me like these gold ankh earrings. She told me how beautiful the country was, how beautiful the people was. So me personally, I never had any negative thoughts about, you know, Kenya per se. And she went to Cairo, Egypt. Same thing, she brought back these pretty gold earrings, and she told me how beautiful it was, Cairo was, and how the people was. My aunt spoke Arabic as well. And so I was always like, oh my gosh, I want to go there, I want to go there. I always wanted to go to Nairobi, Kenya, because she went there and she loved it. I always wanted to go to Cairo, Egypt, because she went there and she loved it. And Cape Town, because Cape Town is like the only place I ever hear of where tourists can visit Africa. And so like this whole, the diaspora wars, it just has to stop. And the whole, I've even had a Nigerian friend tell me this, well, my people sold your people. First of all, how the hell do you know that I'm a descendant of a slave? How do you know that I'm a descendant of a slave? Because what they don't tell you in history books, you know, once you, I feel like this is why college is important, because when you go to college, you start to really dig deep into things that you didn't learn in like your high school or middle school or elementary school. And what I learned from going to college is that so many Africans were trying to get away from what was going on the continent of Africa, so they were willing to come to the Americas with the Portuguese or the Spaniard or the British or whoever was bringing people to the New World. And some Africans were really great with ironworking and welding, especially in the Congo. A lot of, you know, Congolese were brought to the Americas, and a lot of our like African spirituality, if you're into African spirituality like I am, like it's Congo based, you know, it's stuff brought straight from the Congo. And I think Ogun, which is a Nigerian like deity, is the god of iron. They were great iron welders, so they were brought here to help with, you know, building these ornate plantations. The gates and the different like iron fixtures on certain doors were made by Africans, and Africans came here to work for money, not as slaves. They were free Black people, and they would be ordering the white indentured servants around, telling them what to do. So I don't think, like, I think that that is something that is missing in history. Also, I'm reading this book called The Secret History of the Secret History of the United States, and in that book, basically, they talk about how the Chinaman was here before Christopher Columbus even landed. He was here about 1,000 years before Christopher Columbus so-called came to the Americas, which he never made it here. He made it to the Caribbeans, but not here, but nobody ever talks about it. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent, but I just wanted to say that, what you mean your ancestors sold my ancestors? How do you know I'm a descendant of a slave? Because I was doing some genealogy on my father's paternal side of his family, and I come to the realization that they were like free people from like Boston, not necessarily slaves, but free people from Boston. Also, there was a history show that used to come on, and Diddy was on it, and he found out that his paternal side of the family were free Black people, like from the Northeast area as well. And also, Africans had their own slaves, and I made a whole video on my other channel called King and Talks. I think I'm gonna link that link below here because I don't want to be repetitive, but Africans had their own slaves, and if you are a descendant of a slave, those African people were called, I think, Osu. You were like of the Osu lineage or the Ohu lineage. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But you come into the US talking shit to me, You could be a descendant of a slave, but you got the nerve to be talking to me crazy. Prove that you're not a descendant of a slave before you talk to me crazy. Like, I'm nothing. Like, oh, your ancestors got shipped to the United States as slaves. Like, don't look down on me, because you might be a descendant of a slave too. And then somebody was like, oh, we come to the US with two pebbles, and we do way better than you. Let me tell you something. You cannot get to the US if you only got 2 pebbles. You need to have a passport to get into the US and become a citizen. Like, I can't. And the thing is, it's like, oh, you guys believe what you guys see on TV. We can't believe what we see on TV. Now, first of all, a lot of you guys came to the US and you came to our colleges. Now, if where you were was so good, why are you leaving your country to come here? And my thing is, how you come to our culture, you're a guest in our culture, to be rude to us? Imagine me going to visit someplace, Accra, Ghana, and talking shit to the people about how they live. Why y'all live like this? Why y'all ain't got this? Why it's like, imagine me going to visit Accra, Ghana, or Lagos, Nigeria, and talking shit to your people. Imagine that. So the fact that y'all think I could come to here, the US, and talk shit to Black Americans, I dare one of you guys to come face to face with me with the bullshit. So it's like you come here to our colleges and to our universities, and you clearly are sitting next to, I'm sure you go to school with Black Americans, and you clearly could see that Black Americans are about their business. They're about being educated. They're about, you know, doing well, you know. But you can go online and type stuff like, y'all are ghetto, y'all don't have any culture. But you come here to the US, you go to college here, you meet other Black Americans, and I'm sure you know better, but it's all good to just type bullshit online and bully other Black Americans. Like, I just don't get stuff like that. That's like me saying that all people from Iran or Saudi Arabia are terrorists, or Afghanistan, they're terrorists. They're part of Al-Qaeda. They're part of they're part of ISIS. I went to Rutgers, Newark. It has a high population of Arab students. Now, me sitting in classes with other Arabs, I know better. I know that these people are really nice, that I go to school with. They're into getting their education. They want to be great. So for me to make a comment like that, like, oh, you Afghanis, all y'all are terrorists. Y'all fly planes into buildings. You Saudi Arabians, you Iranians. Like, I know better, because I literally sat in class with these types of people. I literally graduated with like 5 people with the last name Hussein. I graduated with a few people whose last name was Bin Laden. I graduated with like 5 boys whose first name was Osama. So I would be ignorant to spew stuff like that the media is saying when I know better. And a lot of you Africans who go to university, colleges, you know, with Black American students, you know that the narrative that you see on TV or in the media is not true, but yet you're online typing paragraphs and paragraphs of negative things about Black people in America. Like, and if you are here in America and you somehow become a citizen, or you're still here after school, like, Black Americans, we do great things. So all this, y'all collect welfare, y'all on food stamps, like, really, dog? Like, you know that's not true for the whole Black American population. This is a capitalistic society, meaning that this society is rigged where there's always going to be people at the bottom. There's always going to be people at the bottom, so that people at the top can continue to win. Now, if you know anything about like Great Britain or like the kingdoms, like different dynasties and things like that, Queen Elizabeth, Prince Philip, you know, Prince William and Harry, and what's it, his other son William, like, they're born into money. They're born into a higher society. Like, way back centuries ago, they had peasants. Peasants are people who are at the bottom, and that's just, society hasn't changed that from like medieval ages and medieval time. It's just that as most people say, you have people who working class people who are technically poor. You have people at the bottom, you have people at the top. So when I see my Nigerians, mostly, I'm speaking to y'all, online typing paragraphs, you know, degrading and talking shit about Black Americans, you're in our society, you're in our, this is our country, this is what we built here. Talking shit about us, I dare a Nigerian to come face to face with me and talk shit. I'm going to put you in your place so eloquently, because you're not about to do that. Go back to your own country if you were so better, if you look down upon Black Americans so much. I don't understand. It's like, if your country was so great and if everything was so great, why y'all come here to go to school? Why y'all come here to live? Why y'all come here to work? Because the US is the best place to be. I had two friends. One of my homeboys is from Rome, Italy. He said, there's really not much work there. You're not gonna make a lot of money there. It's basically like farms and stuff like that. And in the US, I think he was making close to $200,000 a year. He was gonna make the most money. He was gonna be most successful living in the US. Had another homeboy from Europe. I'm gonna say what country? Northern Europe. North, I want to say right above the UK. Said the same thing. Even Europeans are coming to the US for opportunities. But I never hear this from other like Europeans or other people, just Nigerians, and it's tired. It's tiring. Get over it. People tease you in school, so what? Everybody got teased in school. Black, white, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Black American, it don't matter. Nobody was off. Public school was brutal. Brutal. Like, you think those back in the day was the Columbine, the trench coat mafia? They came to school and they freaking shot mad kids that was teasing them. Y'all weak like that? That's some weak mindset. I'm gonna kill you because you tease me. Y'all crying. I'm in a Columbine, the trench coat mafia. So distraught about being teased in school. Shit, if you gay, you got teased. Oh, look, he got a little twitch. He got a bent wrist. He gay. Get your gay ass out of here. You gay. You gay as fuck. It's just so annoying. Another thing I want to talk about. Being woke. I feel like opening your third eye, activating your pineal gland, it's not for everybody. It's something dangerous. When you become woke or activate your pineal gland, or you know, you open that third eye, I feel like that is a level of enlightenment that everybody can't handle. I feel like that's why church folks be like, y'all be messing with y'all chakras. Like, I feel like that's why they're against it, because once you open your third eye, you start to see the truth in everything. Let me tell you something. When I open my third eye, I feel like my third eye's been open for years, since I was probably about 15, 16 years old. I think I spoke about this on my other channel. My dad was in the Nation of Islam, and this lady came over and she taught us how to meditate and things like that. She had like the incense, and we learned how to like really meditate. And once you learn how to go within to find your answers, I really don't talk about like my spirituality, because I just feel like it's something that people don't understand, you know. But once you activate your third eye, or you activate that pineal gland or whatever, you start to see the truth in everything. And I began to go within to find answers. Like, everything you need to go is within. And I feel like it's dangerous, because not everybody wants to know the truth. Not everybody wants to seek the truth. You know, I saw this tweet that says some people survive on lies, or something to that nature. I think it's true. Some people survive on lies. But once that third eye is open, like, you start to see everything clearly, life clearly. And I just wanted to talk about that because the gamer Etika, who committed suicide, and they found his body, was it the East River or the Hudson River? He jumped off the Manhattan Bridge, and he would say things like, this is the Matrix, like it's not real. And I totally get that, what he's saying. But I feel like it could be someone like Etika, it was dangerous. Now rest in peace. I'm not here to slander him or anything like that, but opening a third eye, you guys to be sure you want to open it. I think I'm a little tipsy now, but you start to see the truth in everything. Like, I could go to sleep, I could be thinking of something and trying to find the answers. I will have a prophetic dream about a situation and just know, like, you just really start to see the truth. And it's crazy because sometimes I'll be laying in bed at night and I'll be like, life is underwhelming. I'm just waiting for my ascension. Like, I'm just waiting to leave Earth and be recycled back to something else. Like, these are my thoughts. And if you listen to Janae Aiko, who was my Pisces friend in my head, she has a song called Ascension, where she's talking about ascending, basically, like. And it's like Janae Aiko has like this a dark side to her. It's like she's constantly in this cycle of pain and depression, and I so can relate to her. I feel like that's just a part of your third eye being open. I don't think a lot of people, I don't think some people can handle the third eye being open. Like, this is like this new agey thing, like, oh, we gotta open our third eye, we gotta activate our chakras. But now I don't feel like everybody is ready for their chakras to be open, like the third eye to be open, especially. You know, I'm trying to work on my heart chakra as we speak. And you know, Etika's like, oh, we're in the Matrix or whatever. And it's so funny, I had this crazy dream one night, right? I was telling Cordell, my son, he thinks I'm crazy. So in my dream, right, it was like a regular dream. It was like so real because I woke up, I drove my son to school, came home. I always make coffee, I make an egg and cheese sandwich or egg and cheese and bacon if I got some bacon. I went out and I went somewhere. It was like a group of people, it was like a crowd of us. I was by myself, but it was like a group of people around me. And then somebody was like, yo, I saw you in a third dimension in my dream or whatever. So I was like, what? And literally I went back to, like, after he said it, I went through like 4 different dimensions in that one dream. It was like flashing back and forth to this dimension. It's like that same group of people, I kept seeing them. I saw them in like 4 different dimensions, but I'm dreaming, you know what I'm saying? It was like we were on a train tracks talking. Then we were in this group in Manhattan talking. Like, I saw the same group in like 4 different dimensions. And I think we have like 9 dimensions, if I'm not mistaken. I think Hermes thought, if y'all are into like occult sciences, Hermes thought, I think he said there was like 8 dimensions, but there's really like 9 dimensions, or the 10 dimensions. I can't remember. But anyway, in this dream, I was like glitching back and forth between this dimension, the 5th dimension, the 4th dimension. But I remember it was only like about 4 or 5 dimensions. I kept going back and forth in between, not all 9 of them. And so finally I wake up out of my dream, but I'm not sure that I've woken up yet because I'm laying in bed and I'm just like, I literally was laying in bed, it had to be for at least an hour, trying to gather myself and trying to gather my thoughts and get my head together. And that's what I'm saying. Opening that third eye, it just opens you up to like a different way of thinking, a different way of living, a different way of life, period. And I remember my son, he always like comes to my room and gets Q-tips from my little makeup table, and he goes back into his room. So he comes into my room, goes to get the Q-tip, and I'm like up, I'm watching him, I look. And this is when I realized I was literally awake, because he wouldn't be in the other dimensions, you get what I'm saying? Because each dimension, like, you bounce back in. If you're into like really like into metaphysics, if you're really into metaphysics or whatever, quantum mechanics, occult sciences, all that stuff, like if you've ever heard of like quantum leaping and quantum jumping, you go back and you know that there's like different dimensions that we operate in. And so Etika was saying, you know, he would always be saying, oh, this is the Matrix, you know, this is not real. And so I think that could be very dangerous, because he literally committed suicide, because in his brain, like, I could understand his whole thought process. It's like, this is not real. And sometimes I feel like that, but the fact that I have a son, I know he needs me, is why I'm just like, how I express myself is, oh, I'm just, you know, gonna just ride out this human experience I'm having in this dimension. That's just my thought process. And so I feel like not everybody should have their third eye open. It's dangerous. I feel like not everybody can handle their third eye being open, that pineal glands being opened, because it's like, once that happens, like, you be on some different shit from everybody else. And for me, I know I need to operate in this dimension, in the third dimension. I can't be going around like, oh, this is the Matrix, you know? Like, I'm already freaking awkward and weird, but to be like that, like, I don't know, that's just my like PSA about like this whole thing where we're encouraging people to be woke and open the third eye. Like, that's like the main thing, that's the main theme that's going on these days, and I don't think everybody can handle. I think it's dangerous. I personally think it's dangerous. And you know, a lot of Christians talk down about it, and I just feel like, because a lot of people know, not that, you know, I'm a Christian or anything, because I'm not, but it's dangerous. And it's just, I just feel like operating in the world as it is and just going with the flow is just the best thing for a lot of people, because it can make you go crazy. Even Jim Carrey went through a spiritual awakening, and he went a little bit bonkers. I think that's probably why I'm very different as well. I don't really fit in a lot of spaces, and it's cool. I mean, it's okay. But I go on a lot of forums where people are trying to, how do I open my third eye? Like, how? It's like, you sure you want to do it? Like, you sure you want to open your third eye? Like, are you sure that's what you want to do? Because once you do it, it's no going back. It's no going back. Also, a lot of people are, it seems like a lot of people are looking for something deeper, are looking for something. They have outgrown like church, I feel like, and they are looking for something deeper, and you gotta be careful. Now, I was in Barnes and Nobles one day, and I was in a new age section. Like, they have like a section of not really new age, it's like law, ancient text or whatever. And so I like to go over to that section. I like to peruse the books by Manly P. Hall, like stuff about Area 51. And this man walks up to me, he's like, hey, I know you're looking in this section, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, oh yeah, I'm looking at this book over here. My friend did the illustrations, and he's showing me this book. He's like, oh, he has parties upstate New York, and he's like, do you want to go? And I was like, oh, like, it sounds great. And so then he starts talking about how these parties, people use like shrooms and all these psychedelics to like, and I'm just like, sir, like, I'm not a drug user, like, at all. It sounds cool. And it's like, when you are someone who is looking for something deeper, you really have to be careful. I think I'll mention this on my other channel too, because people are looking for people who are looking for something deeper, and you don't want to end up in a cult, because like these parties and whatever he described, it just sounded kind of like, and lucky for me, I'm very intuitive, you know. I have ESP, let's put it like that. So I feel like a lot of my people in my age group, millennials, are just looking for something a little deeper. Even post millennials, you just gotta be careful, like, who you get your information from. They might be a narcissist, they might be a cult leader, you might end up in a different country. Is it the whole Jim Brown and the whole Guyana thing? You don't want that. So I don't know, that's just all my ramblings, all the stuff I wanted to get through tonight, the things that I had on my brain that I wanted to talk about. So if you have any, you know, comments or anything to say about anything that I spoke about tonight, put in the comment section, let me know. And yeah, if you're here to the end of this video, I want to thank you guys for coming to kick it with me today, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles.